Hi, it's Brian O'Figure. What we have here is Fondjoy's Superman. And this time it is David Corenswet's Superman, James Gunn's version of Superman. And it's a pretty good figure. It looks really nice. And yes, I did see the movie, and it was a good movie. It was pretty good. David Corenswet did fantastic job as Superman, so I became an instant fan, and now I'm pretty happy that I have the figure of him. So, without further ado, let's get him off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, I want to show the packaging of Fondjoy, and you can see that the name, it says Fondjoy right here, and it's got a DZ logo. The classic DZ logo is back, so love that. And there's a symbol on the side. It says one. Remember, you have to keep this in mind. 1/9 scale action figure. It's 1/9 scale. Okay. So there's a Superman symbol in the front, and the DZ logo, which is really nice to see. And right here, again, 1/9 scale. Keep that in mind. And you see the package, it looks really nice. It's a nice packaging, and it shows a picture of the action figure. It doesn't show crypto, which is weird. You ever notice that? There's no crypto. But this does include crypto. I don't know if red means deluxe. Let me see. Or does it say? No. Yeah, I don't know, but I got crypto that comes with Superman, so that's what I have. And you open it, it's magnetic, so it closes in and opens in, and then it shows the figure on the inside. It feels very nice. It's a nice looking box. I really like it. I mean, really nice. And then you take this thing out. It's kind of hard to take it out because it's so snug in there. You take this out, and you see some more accessories inside underneath this bubble plastic thingy. And that's what it looks like. It's very nice. Now, standing him straight up, so far, I don't like that cape. I don't like how it touches the floor. Anyway, now let's get on to size comparisons. So, that's what they look like next to Superman. Obviously, the scale is completely different. The Fantastic Four figures are 6-inch Hasbro Marvel Legends figures. The one in the middle, Superman, that's Fondjoy. And even, McFarlane action figures are going to be too big compared to, Fantastic Four. And speaking of Fantastic Four, I feel like Fantastic Four has a much better, more well-rounded story compared to Superman. But I like both of these movies anyway. So I saw both of them, like a double feature. And I feel like they're both equally good. But I feel like Fantastic Four has a slight edge over Superman. But I still like Superman because obviously I'm a Superman fan, so yeah. And now I have him standing next to the McFarlane action figures. The one on the left is Shazam, and the one on the right is my custom Nuclear Man. So you can see the height of that Fondjoy is not actually really 1/9. It's more like 1/10 scale, sort of. Here's another example, which are classic Superman from McFarlane, and the one on the left is Christopher Reeve Superman, and the one on the right is the comic book Superman. and they're exactly the same height as David Corenswet Superman, as you can see. So yeah, so if you want a 7-inch Superman with, you know, David Corenswet Superman, I would say just go for this one instead of the McFarlane one, because I think this one looks a little better sculpt wise. And right here, what we have are Kingdom Come Superman and Bizarro, and you can see the Kingdom Come is the one that inspired the James Gunn Superman. You can see the S symbol, they're pretty much exactly the same except for the color and the border, the yellow border around David Corenswet's SU. And moving on to the villains, you can see the one on the left is Nicholas Hoult, Lex Luthor from James Gunn's Superman movie. And that is a McFarlane figure, not Fondjoy. This is a McFarlane Lex Luthor. And the one on the right is Back in Black Venom in a 2-pack from Marvel Legends. And now what we have here are 2 Batman figures. And these 2 are my favorite Batman figures from McFarlane. And here he is next to the Superpowers figures. Lobo is clearly on the left, and the one on the right is you know who. So, yeah, I don't know why I did that. It's just fun. Now, what we have here are Ultraman and Wonder Woman. You see Ultraman on the left? That's what Ultraman is supposed to look like. And more super villains. The one on the left is Atomic Skull, and the one on the right is Brainiac. There was a rumor that James Gunn was going to use Brainiac for the first film, but he decided to maybe not use that and except use Lex Luthor. I don't know, but that's what I heard. So if you want David Corenswet Superman to face Brainiac, here's your chance. You got Brainiac action figure. Just get with them. It's perfect. And of course, I almost forgot Crypto. This is Crypto. This is the comic version, and this is from the movie. Crypto from the movie. Supergirl's dog. So this is Superman's dog. This is Supergirl's dog. About Crypto in the movie, he's barely in the movie. Like, he's like, it's almost like he is used as a cameo. If you take out Crypto out of the movie will still be the same. He didn't really do anything except, it's just hard to explain. I'm not going to explain any further, but it feels like he's not even in the movie. So yeah, so it's kind of weird for this David Corenswet Superman figure to come with Crypto every time. Like, almost every company has to include Crypto with Superman. I don't know. I just think it's a little weird because he's barely in the movie. Just letting you know that. Now I want to go over articulation. Starting with the cape. Before I go ahead and show the articulation on the head, I want to show you the cape. This cape is not connected to the chest here. So it just flows for no reason. So they have no reason to add the wire there because there's no point because it's not connected. It's just floating around, you know. See? It's the same problem as McFarlane, where he released a McFarlane Shazam. This Shazam, the wire is not connected, as you can see. I mean, it can hold a pose in a certain way like this, if you're lucky, because the cape is so small, but it's not connected, you know. It's supposed to be connected, like for instance, this Superman, you see the wire is connected to the chest. It literally holds the pose, no problem. Right? It goes like that. It holds it nicely. You cannot do that with this. You try to do it, and it just won't hold up that way, because it's not connected to the chest. So anyway, now moving on to the head articulation. I'm going to move it up. Look up this far. He looks up this far. It's not good. It's not good. You can't really look all that far up. I'll show you an example. This looks up quite a bit, much better, as you can see. It's a little better here. He looks up a little more. See? Here's another sample. Let me see. Let me find another sample. This one's not very good. Let me see. A happy Superman is a really good example. He can look up quite a bit. That's what you're supposed to do with Superman. As you can see, the range is just not there for Cavill's. No, not Henry Cavill. Not Henry Cavill. Corenswet's head. And it doesn't really look up. And that sucks, because this sculpture on the back is restricting the movement. See? So, and I'm gonna pop the head off, and you can see it looks like it has a little movement. So I don't know if it has anything to do with that. I feel like it does. Just wish this neck piece wasn't in the way, so he can look up a little better. Because this guy flies a lot in the movie. So it's really weird that he can't do it. Not really, you know. He can't even arch back very far. There's no range back there. So you're just stuck with this, you know. This one, at least you can arch his back more, so he can look up a little bit more. You know what I mean? Such a good looking Superman. So anyway, so that's very important, and they just didn't do it right. So yeah, and then he looks down, and that neck does move. Let me move it up. You can see it moves. It goes down and up. It does move side to side if you can, very little. So yeah, let's put it back. Now he turns on a swivel, full 360 side, this far, tilt. Shoulders go up this far, rotates all the way around, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. Let me see if it can go any further. Nope, that's the furthest. And let's look at the chest, arches back, nothing. Crunches forward, wide a bit. See how amazing that is? That's what you call an ab crunch. Look how far he goes downwards like that. That's amazing. Now let's look at McFarlane's Superman. That's the best you could do right here. That's it. This is all you could do. This guy, really, come on. Come on, McFarlane. Take notes. That's amazing. And then side, this far. And then this far, really good torso articulation. You can't twist on the top, but you can twist on the bottom at the waist. All the way around. Because this is a softer trunks piece. It's not as soft, it's kind of rigid, but it's still soft enough. And you'll see why. The thighs move outwards this far, inwards this far, and it does have drop down hips. As you can see from the bottom, it does have drop down hips. So, and be careful with that though. When I try to kick it up, you can see it has some scratches on the top of the thigh for some reason. I don't know why, but it just does. So anyway, now I try to kick up. This is as far as he can go. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. It's really restrictive in that area. It does amazing in the torso articulation, but horribly on the thighs articulation. I mean, you can try to bend the plastic of the trunks and hopefully, but you'll risk breaking the joint inside, so don't do that. That's the highest, but it's not very good. See? Very little articulation in the thighs. And then knees, double jointed. Goes this far. And feet go down this far, up about this far, which is alright. And toe hinges. And it does have ankle pivot, a little bit of ankle pivot. It's double ball and peg in there, in that ankle. So you can move it in any direction you want, and it does rotate a little bit outwards, like this way. It goes outwards this way, and inwards a little bit this way, which is perfect. It works. But the downwards is a little weak. Going downwards, upwards is not very good, but still good enough. At least you have toe hinge if you need it. Then, oh, I forgot to show you the wrist. It goes down this way, up this way, and it does rotate like that. So there you have it. The entire articulation of this guy. Now I want to go over Sculpt Paint. To start with the head. As you can see, the eyes are a little wonky. Let me get a closer look. You can see eyelashes on his eyes. That's pretty good, but the eyes look really weird, I'm telling you. It doesn't look great. It looks really weird. See that eye right here? The black dot, it sits a little too low on the eye. So it looks very, very weird. From afar, it's not so bad, but up close, it just looks weird. But they did a good job with the paint application. Look at the eyebrows. See the eyebrows? The detail of the eyebrows. That's impressive. The lip color is really good too. So yeah, it does look like Corenswet. It's just the eyes look a little wonky. I mean, not a little, like a lot, probably. I you would have one would have to fix it. Maybe if it still bothers me. But it does look like Corenswet. Other than the eyes, the wonky paint application on the eyes, it does look like Corenswet, like a lot like Corenswet. So that's good. I wish it had a coil, the S curl on his forehead there. He had that in the movie. The head shield looks really good. It's clean. It's got lines all over the body. A lot of texture. It's pretty immaculate in detail, I would say. Problem with the wrists is the wrists don't match the skin tone with the hands. So that's a bummer. But it's not a big deal because you don't really notice them because of that wrist guard kind of thing, just covering it up. And you can see the cape tucked right at this spot, which looks good here. And you can see it has a strap on the back. And the S is screen printed on there. It's a good idea, but problem is when I straighten the cape down like this, you can't really see the S as flat. It's not as flat because it's always folded. So I wish it was like this. Wait. Like this all the time, But because the cape keeps it folded this way, it's kind of annoying. It's got lines on its chest. Let me move the arm. See the panel lines. They line up quite well. The texture is incredibly detailed. It's really clean and perfectly organized, and the pattern is really, really perfect. You see the clawed wrinkles? See? A little bit of clawed wrinkles. That's pretty cool. It's a nice touch. It goes all the way around. See the belt loop right there? That's intended. They are extremely accurate with the costume. Extremely accurate. And then there's this right here. Panel lines, panel lines, panel lines. And the boots. There's a paint that goes beyond the line. So it looks pretty bad. Far away you don't notice it, but up close it looks really bad. So yeah, this one looks good here, but this one's worst. So they got to be careful with that. It looks really good, man. Oh, it's got texture on the treads of the boots. So yeah, they did a really good job here. Really good job. They did fantastic on this figure when it comes to sculpt and paint. They really did. They did a fantastic job on this. So I would say 9 out of 10. Really, really good. Really, really well done. The proportions, perfect. I love how his chest is bulging out a little bit, popping through a little bit, so you can see his chest. Unlike McFarlane, where his chest is not visible, it's just, like he's wearing an armor underneath the suit. This one, it looks like he's actually wearing the suit, and it shows his physique. Because Corenswet in real life, he's really buff, so it's trying to show that. So I appreciate that. So that's awesome, and it has a teeny bit of abs popping through. It's a little bit, you can see it, just a teeny bit, and that's perfect, perfect. Because that's exactly how he looked in the movie. The legs, beefy and strong, it looks good. Really, they did a fantastic job with this sculpt and paint. Really good job on this. The reason why I said 9 out of 10 is because of those wonky eyes, but other than that, it looks good. It really does. It really looks good. Love it. I have one gripe, and it's the cape. The length of the cape. It is way too long. See how long that cape is? I don't like that, because when you stand him up like that, it pushes his cape upwards like this. I don't like that. So I wish they went like, okay, I wish it was more like the length. Let me move this cape up a little bit. But like this. That's how high up it should be. Like round, like in the middle of the boots. Right there. That would have been perfect. This is just too long. It's touching the ground. That's not what his cape looked like in the movie. And some people were saying, and even I did before I got this in hand, we were complaining about the head being too small compared to the body. But honestly, it looks perfect because usually tall people, this guy is 6'4" in real life. So tall people generally have smaller heads relative to the bodies. Like basically, the taller you are, the smaller the head. Take a look at basketball players. Their heads are kind of small compared to their bodies because they're so tall. You understand? Same thing with let's say Christopher Reeve. His head was pretty small related to his body. Just look at the pictures of Christopher Reeve. Him and Christopher Reeve were the same height, right? So look at Christopher Reeve and see how big his head really is in real life. So, so you have to understand that the taller you are, the smaller the head. That's the general rule of thumb when it comes to proportions. And people are so used to seeing figures with giant heads like Mezco and Marvel Legends, where they need to really knock it off because they don't look like that. The heads are not big like that. The shorter you are, the bigger the head, basically. I know this because I draw people all the time. So this one is perfect. He looks like a tall guy because the head being small, it makes him appear taller. It helps you visualize him as a 6'4" guy. This is perfect, really. So, yeah. Now you can see how the cape just pushes up the cape tuck at the shoulders. That's because the cape is too long. Okay, so let's talk about accessories. What you're seeing is what you're getting. So you got the press card, and you can use it as your costume if you want to be Clark Kent for Halloween. and you put that on your, shirt or whatever. Yeah, I guess, whatever. I have no use for that when it comes to action figures. And then it comes with 4 alternate hands. So he's got flat hands, with thumbs tucked in, and open hands, open relaxed hands. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's decent, not bad. And you got 2 different cryptos. One is just standing on all 4s. Okay, and I think this one rotates the head. Let me see. There. It's a little tight, but you can rotate it. So it has a swivel all the way around. And the detail of this dog is actually pretty good. Let me get it closer. There. The detail is pretty good. And this cape is plastic. It's a pretty hard plastic. So it's not as flexible. Like if I hold it up like this, you can see just how tough it is for the plastic. So that's us. And then there's the edge shield on the back, which is pretty cool. And he's got the tag, the edge symbol on the tag. And it does move that mouth a little bit, but don't go too far, it might pop off. But it's got some articulation in the jaw. And then there's another crypto version, which is the flying pose. And this stick is almost useless. I mean, it works. You can get it to stand, of course, but the rod is too short. So it looks like he's just running. He's not even hopping or flying, it's just running. For flying pose, you'll have to find a different rod from Hobby Lobby and stick it on there, and then get him to float up a little higher. So that sucks. And there's a hole for that. The other one does not have the hole on the bottom, but this one does. And this one does rotate on the head. It has a swivel, and it does open the mouth. So that's pretty cool. Probably the most articulated crypto action figure for this scale. Really. Like the only one that's available. And you got a really, really nice stand. It's transparent, I think, or translucent. It's not as transparent, but it's more translucent, so it looks nice. The edge looks very clean on here, and it says Superman in the front. Very nice looking base. And this arm, it rotates around like this, and then it goes back. It has a ratchet like so. So that's very good. And then there's this one, which is even harder to bend. There you go. I wouldn't do too much. It might risk breaking it. And then it has another one over here too, which you can see. It has a ratchet, so be very careful with it. It's very tough. And then there's the clamp. It has springs inside. So you open it like this. See? Let me show you. See? So it really tightens on your figure. The drawback for that is it might damage your figure because it's so tight. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Now the stand is pretty nice because it holds the figure indefinitely, and it does fit on it around his waist, as you can see. Let me show you. There, and then it's done. But problem with this stand is his feet touches the floor. He cannot float off the floor. You know what I mean? So he's just standing. The stand, I wish there's an extra arm about this long, so he can, look like he's flying. Because he's not a very big guy. He's not 1/6. He's 1/10, 1/9. So you can get him to fly, float upwards a little bit in your detolf or something like that. It would be nice to have, but oh well. So yeah, that's it for accessories. Pretty nice spread of accessories, to be honest. Let's do some poses. So my opinion with this is, well, Crypto looks pretty creepy here, but Superman, he looks pretty good. I like the sculpt work on this one. They did a fantastic job with the sculpt work. But I think articulation is more important. He needs to be able to look all the way up, and his legs need to kick up a little more. There needs to be a little bit more room for that. I think I'll like the SH Figure Arts David Corenswet Superman, because at least you can kick his legs up a little bit more, and he'll probably be able to look all the way up too. Yeah, I might like that one more than this one, but for now, this is a good figure for a 7-inch scale collection. And no, it is not like 8-inch or anything like that. It's actually, it scales really well with McFarlane figures. So if you want one, get the Fondjoy. It is a much better figure than the McFarlane version, in my opinion. Because at least Crypto, the super dog, he can rotate his head and open his mouth a little bit. So you get a little bit more with this figure than you would with the McFarlane one. And the colors are a lot better on this version, on this figure. And my problem is also the cape as well. The cape is too long, in my opinion. It's just too long. But the saving grace of this figure is really good sculpt work. And David Corenswet's head sculpt, it actually looks just like him. Problem is the paint application. it's not as good. If you see a custom repaint from someone who does a repaint on this exact head sculpt, it looks exactly like David Corenswet. So it shows just how good this figure really is. So do I recommend it? Heck yeah. I definitely recommend this figure. Definitely get this. If you like this movie, and if you like this version of Superman, definitely don't hold back and get this figure. Like, pronto. Thank you for watching, and hope you enjoyed this review, and hope this helps you decide on whether or not you should get it. And keep posting your action figures, of course, and take care.